as much as I can love the sport sometimes, boxing can be very, very fucking annoying at the same time. Especially when you communicate with other boxing fans. You try to talk about the best fights. You know, you want to see number one versus number two. You want to see unification. You want to see undisputed champion, right? Almost seem like I'm just in a world of my own. It's almost feel as if, why do I even make YouTube videos speaking about the sport? Because what I've come to realize over the last 6, 7 years being on YouTube, people just want to have their favorites, which is cool. Basketball, you have your favorite team. Baseball, you have your favorite team. Soccer, so on and so forth. American football, whatever. But what in those sports, though, there's always some type of tournament at the end, playoffs, series, single elimination type of tournaments or whatever goes on to. They give us who the number one team is in that sport, or if it's golf or an individual sport, tennis. There's something that, a big tournament that they have to win that everybody has to compete in if you want to, be recognized as the best, so on and so forth. But in boxing, it's different, man. Us as fans, we sit on here on YouTube and fucking argue about Showtime and HBO. We argue about who makes the most money. We argue about whose promoters the best promoters. Whole bunch of dumb shit. When to me it's supposed to be like, dude, aren't we supposed to just want to see who the best is? Period. I just feel like I'm wasting my time on here, man. Because whenever I try to talk about the best fights, and some of you say, oh, you can't get mad because nobody always agrees with you. It's not about agreeing with me. It's about, don't you want to see who the best is? Like, if this heavyweight division turns into what these other divisions are doing, he's on this network, he's with that promoter, all the bullshit, I'm really going to be done with YouTube. Like, and I've done this before where I took 2.5 years off. It's nothing for me not to be on here. I know some of you see it, I'll drop, 6, 7, 8 videos in one day. So you probably figure, oh, he loves being on here. Yeah, I do sometimes, just getting heavyweight news out and talking about boxing. But it's really not that serious. I would be just comfortable watching old fights and watch good fights when they happen. But rather than that, just ignoring boxing. Shit's getting frustrating. It's making my head hurt. I come on here and say, man, Luis Ortiz and Deontay Wilder, now that right there is a good fight. 50 people telling me, oh, it's not a good fight. He shouldn't have to fight him. He shouldn't have to do this. He shouldn't have to do that. It's like, dude, do you want to see the good fights? It's just making my head hurt, man. If you're a black uploader, you say you criticize a white fighter, you're a hater, you're racist. If you're a white uploader, you say something about a black fighter, you're a hater, you're a racist. This shit is just making my head hurt. Really, it's just all this shit's making my head hurt. So if the heavyweight division turns into the other divisions with all the bullshit and all the, 501 reasons as to why we're not going to get the fight, I'm just going to be done making videos. Like I said, I'll stay on YouTube as far as listening. I don't even know if I'll do that because sometimes the shit I be hearing is not, again, it's not about agreeing with me. It's just about, I just know people are pulling for their favorite fighter. And it comes across as just real fake and it makes my head hurt sometimes listening to the shit. And some of you may listen to my videos and think the shit I say makes your head hurt, and that's totally fine, man. But just, pulling for your favorite and trying to disguise it like you're really for the sport is shit's just bullshit, man. I want to see the best fight the best. I've always wanted that. Even when I knew that it wasn't really possible, even as a fan growing up, when I really didn't get the politics and shit, still want to see the best fight the best. Now motherfucker need 15 tune-ups before they make a mega fight. Person move. It's just bullshit, man. And I'm not talking about one specific fighter. I'm talking about all these motherfucking fighters, man. If a guy wants to fight the best every time out, people call him dumb. That's dumb. Why would he fight literally the top 5 guys back to back to back to back to back? He shouldn't have to do that. He should take a year rest. I mean, you have fans babying fighters. It's one thing to care about a fighter's health. For example, Oscar Rivas is, last I checked, is going to fight Amir Mansour. I know Oscar Rivas couldn't get licensed in California to fight Gerald Washington months ago because he couldn't pass the eye exam. Now, in that situation, I hope Oscar Rivas isn't getting a license from Alabama just to throw him in the ring. I hope there's nothing really wrong with his eye, because I'm curious why he couldn't get a license in one state. But then, so when it's things like that, I don't want to see nobody get injured or harmed. But when it comes to fighting the best, why, as fans, should I have to sit here and listen to 500 reasons as to why a motherfucker don't want to fight somebody that's on his level? You know what I mean? Like, I just think it's bullshit, man. I really do. You know, when I watched NBA playoffs, for those of you basketball fans, could you imagine if the Warriors said, you know what? Yeah, we just had a tough series where we had to come back 7 games against Oklahoma City. So, you know what? We're going to sit out the finals, and then we'll just play the winner of the finals like in 3 months, like in August, you know what I mean? Until we get rested up. And I know some of you think, oh, that can never happen. You're exaggerating. But that's just the feeling I get when I watch boxing. Whoever fought it is, whatever the reasoning, why the fuck hasn't Kovalev and Stevenson fought? Do you get what I'm trying to say? Like, really? What do we need to wait for? Let me guess. He's with this promoter. He's with that network. And see, you have to understand the business. Man, take the business and flush that shit down the toilet. I'm tired of hearing that shit, man. Yes, they have to make the most money they can. But as a fan, why do we have to sit here and wait for the best fights, listen to bullshit excuses, and accept the excuses? And if you're a fan of whatever fighter, you're going to try to put the excuses out there like they're valid excuses. And be cool with it. Like, I'm not a fan of no fighter nowadays to where I'm just cool with the fucking boatload of excuses. Race, politics, always going to be a part of boxing. Always have been. With that said, don't mean I gotta like the shit. This is why other sports are bigger than boxing nowadays. There's always been corruption in boxing. I'm not trying to say in the good old days there was no corruption. I'm not saying that shit. But what I am saying is, in other sports, whether you think it's rigged, whatever, there's a tournament to establish who's number one every year. Nobody's ducking. Nobody's giving me the bullshit. He's on HBO. I mean, we're at the point now where we're saying shit like, well, he on Showtime. He on HBO. He with Bob Arum. He a Heyman fighter. Like, I almost feel like, why am I even following a sport like this, man? Why? And as fans, we're like cool with it, you know. We cool when the best fights ain't made, as long as my fighter is undefeated, or as long as my fighter ain't taking on the tough. Why my fighter got to take on the tough fights? I just want to see the best fight the best, to be honest with you. I've never cared about who's a Don King fighter. Never cared about who's a Kushner fighter. I really never cared about that. So why the fuck do I care now? To some of you, this video may sound like I'm hating, although I haven't said one fighter. You know what I mean? I'm talking about all of the shit is nerve-wracking. All of it. If the heavyweight division, if I don't see no unifications, If I don't see the best fighting the best, if I keep hearing excuses, if this shit just keeps up, I'm going to be done uploading videos, at least until shit gets right. Because me just coming over here talking about fights that I won and all that is just a waste of time. Not that the boxing world needs to cater to me as an individual, but there's a lot of people that feel the same way I do. I'm not the only one. Why the fuck as a fan do I care about who's getting a bigger check? Like, why? Why would I care about that? I want these guys to make the most they can make. That's where it ends. Why the fuck am I going to go into indulge into their finances to really give a fuck about a 70-30 split, a 60-40 split? Why the fuck do we care? Why? Don't you just want to see them fight? Or you want to see their pocketbook? This video is just my opinion. There's no reason to debate my opinion because I'm not going to debate your opinion. If you feel everything I said is how you feel, cool. That's what I'm saying. With me, I almost feel like, even though I said that there's people that feel the way I do, I almost feel like there's a small percent of us. Like we're the fucking last of the Mohicans, as if like we're just delusional. I feel like I'm a delusional boxing fan sometimes. I think I want, you know what it is? I think I want too much from these fighters. That's what it is. I want the best to fight the best. I think that's too much for fighters. The best fighting the best.